Well, good evening, my friends. I hope everyone's doing well today. If I got this working. Yep, there we go. Okay, so there's a bit of a delay today, I think. Maybe even worse than before. Better, but I'm not sure about that. Hope everyone's doing fine. I had a podcast today. It was the first one I've been on like this. I've done radio interviews and TV and newspapers before, but I've never actually been on a podcast. I don't think so, at least. Maybe when I was ordained, that was kind of not a thing. Podcasts hadn't really blown up yet. YouTube was barely a thing even, especially when I started. But that was fun. Really interesting channel. I think it's called The Way 126 or something. And had some very nice discussions. And it's fun to see he's a Taoist practitioner. And it's very fun to see how there are similarities to how I view practice from an experimental level, and how he has a framework that he works with, how this still has some concepts that are very similar to what I do, but for me they're more experiential, and for him it's a system that he follows, and he gets similar results on many things. So it was a really nice discussion. I enjoyed it a lot. I'll be sure to post on the channel when that comes out. I think very likely next week or the week after or something like that. We actually had to stop it in the middle because we continued too long, and he had another meeting after, so we're going to continue and finish it tomorrow instead. I'm so confused by this delay thing. I thought I had fixed it so that people, when you guys say something, I'd see it immediately, but now it seems like, actually when I say it, you'd see it more or less immediately, but now there seems to be an even bigger delay. I don't know why that is, but I'll work on it. I'm getting better and better and working these things out. It's nice that I don't have to think so much about the technology. We can just come and sit instead. Who do I have with me today? Who's sitting here? Who's going to be sitting? If anyone has a keyboard they can type on. I thought today actually we'd start with a this is not, today we normally do guided meditations, and it's not really a guided meditation, but before we sit, we're going to do a very quick exercise. That is something that is commonly used when, if you meet someone who is having a lot of anxiety or is having a panic attack, or having a hard time, this can be a really nice way to get them back into their senses and to get them to calm down. It's not really that it gets you into deep concentration, but it really gets you back into your senses and being aware of what's happening around you. So we'll do that. It's quite quick. It's called the 5-4-3-2-1 method. You might have heard of it before. It's a really simple technique, and you can use it, like I said, if you meet someone who's having a hard time, a child. It works with the kids. My kids love it. Like if they're really in a fit about something. My daughter was crying tonight. What was it? She didn't get. I can't even remember what. She probably didn't get to drink the water from the toilet or something like that. I don't know what she was crying about, but something. And then I was just holding her. And we did this exercise, and the way it is that you use your senses. You say out loud 5 things that you can see, and then you say 5 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. And you do this as an exercise, and you say it out loud. If you're sitting somewhere you can't talk loud, then just say it for yourself. But it is very useful to say it out loud, because otherwise you go like, oh, I see this. Yeah, done. It's not how fast you do it. This is about actually slowing down enough so that you can be aware of what you're experiencing. Oh. Well, it's actually time to start. So what I'll do is I'll start with the 5-4-3-2-1 method, and then after that we'll start the timer for 20 minutes. And afterwards, if anyone has any questions, you're welcome to ask questions. I'm going to set the timer. So So I want you to just sit down and prepare to meditate and get comfortable. And then I want you to look around you and say out loud 5 things that you can see. So I'll do it myself also. I can see a computer. I can see a microphone. I see a thermos. I see a lamp. And I see the controller for the heating in here. So now you do the same thing. After you said those 5 things out loud, we say 4 things that we can touch. I can touch this blanket. I can touch this microphone, which you can probably hear. I can touch this sofa, and it feels very coarse. It's wool, very nice. And I can touch my beard. You do the same thing. After this, we do 3 things that we can smell. No, wait, here, sorry, I skipped one. So 3 things you can hear. I can hear the fan on the laptop, and I can hear the fan on the lamp here. And then I hear the wind outside. So you say 3 things that you can hear. Then we say 2 things that you can smell. I can smell the Indian food we ate earlier. I can smell I ate a chewing gum after food, so I can smell that. 2 things that you can smell. And finally, we say 1 thing that we can taste. Yeah, I still taste that chewing gum. Strawberry flavor, very nice. So that's the 5-4-3-2-1 method. It's, like I said, a very good method if you have someone who's having a hard time and is stuck in their mind. It can really be a super simple way to get them to come back to their senses. You can do it before a meeting, or you can do it before you have a talk. If you're doing an interview, someone is nervous, great thing to do. You can do it with the kids when they're crying. There's a lot of times and places you can use this and have it to be useful. So we'll do the three rings of the bell, and then we'll sit together for 20 minutes and question and answer afterwards if anyone wants to ask questions. If you want to, you can keep on sitting, or you're welcome to ask some questions as well. I'm going to drink my tea while I wait. Also, sometimes people join a little bit after the stream started, so it takes them a while to get to where we are right now. It's a shame I can't see who is here, because it's such a small group. It's very nice to know the other people are here, and it gets like a kind of community with people coming back. I just see numbers of people going up and down, but I don't actually see who you are. So if you want to say hi, feel welcome to. You don't need to have any questions. Hey, Mindful Mama, nice to see you again. One of our regulars. Hey, Oddity. Came in a little bit late, but happy to get a few minutes in. Nice. Were you here for the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 meditation? I'll do that again on Monday, by the way, if anyone missed it. It's a technique that's really good for calming people down who are really lost in their minds, or when things get very intense. Also really good for calming down children or yourself. It doesn't need to be kids. We can get quite unsettled even though we're adults. Unfortunately, you'd think we'd learn that, but it can take time. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it on Monday also. It's a quick exercise that that is good for just getting back into your senses, and it can be really good before a meditation or before a meeting or something. Mindful Mama also missed it. Yeah. Yeah, should we do it now? It's quick. It just takes a few minutes. So basically, it's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 meditation method is a method that helps you come back to your senses, because you focus on your different senses. You name out loud 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. And the nice thing about this is that you don't just look at them and kind of note, okay, I saw that. No, you have to say them out loud. If you can't, obviously say them out loud to yourself. But the idea is that you actually stop and think about what you're observing, and you're using all of your senses, and especially the latter ones. You have to think. So, as I said before, this can be good before a meeting. It can be good if you're going to have a difficult conversation with someone. If you have your kids crying, I do this with my kids sometimes. I just ask them to do that, and it helps them calm down, because they kind of, wait a minute, like I'm supposed to be angry now, but then you can't really focus on that much internal thoughts, because you have to go back to your senses. So it's a really good technique to just stop things and get into your senses, so you're not so lost in your thoughts. We'll do it together. I can start. So first thing we do is we name 5 things that we can see. I can see a jar of honey. I see a bowl, a bell that I can ring. I see my socks. I see a scale, and I see a sound dampening board and a microphone. And then you name 5 things out loud that you can see around you. If you can, try to do it out loud. After that, we see 4 things that we can touch. So I can touch my blanket, I can touch the woolen sofa, I can touch my thermos, which is a bit cold, and I can touch my microphone. So 4 things that you can touch, and you say them out aloud as you touch them. Now, after you've done the 4 things you can touch, we're going to say 3 things that we can hear. And in this room, I can hear the fan of the computer. I hear a car that's just passing by right now. And there's the humming of the heater that's above me. So that's 3 things I can hear. Now, name 3 things that you can hear. After that, it gets a little bit more difficult. Now we're looking for 2 things that we can smell. We smell and see if we can smell 2 things. I can smell the carpets here. They have a bit of an office carpet smell. It's quite newly put in here. And I can smell the honey from that I just put in the tea. So that's 2 things that I can smell. After you've named 2 things that you can smell, now is the last one thing that you can taste. And I just drank rooibos tea with honey, so I taste the rooibos. I can really taste it in my mouth. If you haven't drank anything, then that might be a bit more difficult, but you can taste something in there. Or you can do like my son and just take any random object and just start sucking on it. That also works, and you'll taste something. So that's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. A really simple and easy way to get people to get out of their minds and back into their bodies and their senses. And it's actually a technique that's sometimes used for people who have panic attacks or a strong anxiety, because it gets you out of your thoughts and kind of into your body again. Did you guys try it with me, or did you? How did it go? Like the figurine. You go, Poe. I told you, if you don't taste anything, there's always stuff to lick. That's what my son seemed to think. He's 18 months a year old. I know you're a bit older than that, but it does work still. I try it. That's new to me. I like it. Yes, it's such a simple technique, and you really try this if you're with someone and they're having a really hard time. Obviously, they kind of need to be in a bit of a playful state and actually be willing to do this. But if you do, it can really help them get back to their senses. My mama saying this was nice and helped me calm down a but. Or maybe she wrote down, calm down a bit. I'm not sure. Was that a but or a bit? It's not really a technique that you do as in when we sit and we focus on our breath, or we do a body scan or something. This is more of a exercise that you do to get back to your senses. So that's why it's good to do. Can be good to do before meditation, or, as I said, before a meeting or something. She's right. But so basically, she wrote, "That was a nice and helped me calm down, but I find it difficult to keep focused." Yes, and that is just practice. Focus is just it's a muscle, and focus has inertia. So the more you keep on focusing on things, meaning the more you come back to either the breath, to observing sensations on you, or just like we did now with the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that we focus on the smell and everything, that strengthens your muscle to be able to focus on things. And the more you do this, the simpler it gets. It really is like that. And there's also inertia to it, meaning that if you do it one time now, you sit now this evening, and then you don't do anything for another 2 weeks, and you do again, then kind of the inertia is gone. But if you do it now, and then tomorrow you sit a little bit, and tomorrow you sit a little bit, and tomorrow you sit a little bit, and then you come back, and we have the sitting on Monday, then you have inertia, meaning the muscle, the senses are still extra sensitive. And that is why when you go to especially Theravada Buddhist meditation centers, they have as little stimuli as possible. You don't talk to other people. You're not allowed to have a telephone. There's no bright colors. There's nothing to really get you started into thinking, oh, I want that. But that's nice. It's just a way of calming down and limiting your sensory input. I do practice a bit differently because I think you should enjoy your senses, enjoy the world around you. But it does make a point to, if you want to practice concentration and really have this strong awareness, to not have too much stimuli to distract you. Yes, thank you. Yep. It's difficult when you have kids, because kids are kind of they're the ultimate distraction. They're almost always distracting. When I sit and eat and my kids aren't there, I'm still stress eating. I'm like, I need to get the food down, because let's just like do it quickly so that someone can take care of them in case they need to throw something around the table, or they can sit in someone's lap. But my daughter, she's 5, but she still wants me to feed her with a spoon. Not feed her like this, but I have to hold up the spoon, and then I look away, and then we say, what was that? Who ate that? And I either get really angry at her because that's funny, or we say it's a werewolf that took it, or something funny. So kids are the ultimate distraction, and also the ultimate joy, because they do give you a lot of smiles. Pedro, message retracted. I didn't see what you wrote there, Pedro, but nice. If there's no other questions, then we'll see each other on Monday again. And on Mondays, like we said, Thursdays, no guiding. We just sit together. And then Mondays, we have guided meditation where I'll guide you through a simple exercise. And okay, wait, here's something Pedro just wrote. I just recently discovered your channel, and I find it quite nice that you have this kind of video streams. I just deleted the previous message because it was not complete. Okay, thank you, Pedro. I'm very happy to hear that. Yes, I enjoy this as well. It's a way for... I'm so used to having meditation classes or groups of people that sit with me, and I haven't done that for a while, since it was a while since I was ordained. And this is a really nice way to connect to people, which is why I said before, it's very nice when people just say hi, and so I know who's here, because you see it's the same people who come back, and it's like a little close group who come here. And you can come, and then you disappear for a few weeks. That's fine, and then come back. You're always welcome. But it's nice to sit with other people. For some reason, it is just easier to sit when other people are there, even if it's like this, if we're not actually in the same room. Strange, but it seems to work that way. Pedro's asking what tradition I followed. I was in the Theravadan tradition. I mostly practiced with Mahasi, a Burmese tradition, like Vipassana tradition, although I developed my own practice, and that's what I do now, kind of what I call the distortion method, which there's some videos on my channel about that, and I'll definitely do more. It's not as easy, because it's not really a technique. It's more an approach of how you view things, and that takes a little bit time to shift your perspective to see this, but it's very simple to use once you understand the concept. Nice. I think it's bedtime for me. It's quite late here. Thank you everyone for coming, and I'll see you on Monday again.